Hi, guys. It's Dr. George here with Tucked In Tuesdays, and I have two books, and one of them is an AR book, Planting Stories, The Life of the Librarian, and Storyteller. I will wait till she comes out to tell because I don't know how to say that word, but they'll help me. And I have another special guest, a principal friend of mine, Gloria Guillory. She's at Fletcher Elementary. So this book is written by Anika Denise, and she'll be joining us tonight. And this is an AR book. The quiz number is 198342, book level 4.0, which means a fourth grader, and the points half points. My second book is Cami and Wyatt have too much screen time. And I know that's a lot going on right now. I'll turn this light down a little bit. There's a lot of that going on right now. So I'll bring them out. If you type your comments in, we'll say hello to you. So here, I'm going to bring them one at a time. So here's Gloria, the principal of Fletcher Elementary. Here's Anika, the author of Planting Stories. And here's Stacy. Cami and Wyatt too much time. So I have a principal and I have two authors and a big party. So I have some messages. I always like those messages to go. So hello, Gloria, that's my sister, and Gabe, if you're watching. Carly Green. So Carly, you're actually here and not at work. So Carly's from London. We've become really good friends. Wow. And there's Mike. Hi, Mike. I am a giraffe tonight. So Mike is a regular. Mike joined us one night. Hi, Rochelle. She's an author from Port Arthur and a teacher. And there's Tony McPherson, our technology person for the district. So
hey, Mr.
McPherson. We'll have people coming in. Oh, and Mike said, and us listeners. So yes. Yeah. Mike, thank you. So Mike joined us one time. We did a book on autism, and Mike was my guest. He has autism, and so he came on and told us as an adult what it's like. So it was real nice. So Mike and I have become friends too. So the first book we'll read tonight is Planting Stories, and this book is an AR book. And like I said, it's quiz number 198342, 0.5 points and 4.0. Now, this is how this is going to work. Thank you, Teresa. So this is how this is going to work. I am going to read the English version, and Miss Guillory is going to read the Spanish version. And Anika, she's the author at the bottom. Her name is on her screen. This is her book. So she gets to watch us read her book, and then we'll do some questions. So here we go. It is 1921. Tell me that name again, Anika.
Is Pura Belpre.
Pura Belpre.
Pura. I think in the book it's her middle name, so it's Pura Teresa Belpre.
Pura Belpre. Oh, I got it. Hot dog. It is 1921. Pura Teresa Belpre leaves her home in San Juan for a visit to Nuevo York. Words travel with her. Stories her abuela taught her. Woo. Tell me what that word. Cuentos folclóricos.
Cuentos folclóricos.
Cuentos folclóricos. Oh boy. But the reason I always do it is I don't want kids to ever think that if you can't read a word that you should stop. You keep going and you ask for help.
Yeah, and you know, Spanish pronunciation, mine's not perfect either. Gloria's probably better than mine.
So and they were from different areas as well, so that make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yes. Retold in the shade of a tamarind tree in Puerto Rico. So there's that.
Es el año 1921. Pura Teresa Belpre deja su casa en San Juan para visitar la ciudad de Nueva York. Las palabras viajan con ella, las historias que su abuela le contó, cuentos folclóricos que Pura contaba bajo la sombra de un árbol de tamarindo en Puerto Rico.
And I didn't say why we're doing that, but this is Hispanic Heritage Month, so we want to feature books like this. Now a new island stretches before her, ripe for planting seeds of the cuentos she carries. Manhattan, a city of hustle and bustle, bigger, louder, crowded, yet alive with hope and possibility. What began as a visit to celebrate her sister's wedding becomes the first steps in a new land. Y una vida nueva por Pura.
Oh, good job. Ahora una isla nueva se extiende ante ella, lista para recibir las semillas de los cuentos que lleva consigo. Manhattan, una ciudad bulliciosa, más grande, ruidosa y llena de gente, y al mismo tiempo rebosante de esperanza y de posibilidades. Lo que comenzó como una visita para asistir a la boda de su hermana, se convierte en los primeros pasos en una tierra nueva y en una nueva vida para Pura.
It just sounds so much nicer when you say it, Gloria.
Beautiful.
She works first in a gourmet factory, but it is cold floors and hard edges, not the soft, fertile ground where seeds take root. Then a golden opportunity. Una benedición. The library needs a bilingual assistant. Pura speaks English, Spanish, English, and French. She is perfect for the job.
Al principio trabaja en una fábrica de ropa, pero es un piso frío y duro, y no el suelo suave y fértil necesario para que las semillas echen raíces. Y entonces, una oportunidad de oro, una bendición. La biblioteca necesita un ayudante bilingüe. Pura habla español, inglés y francés. Es perfecta para el trabajo.
But where are her abuela stories? Not one folktale from Puerto Rico is on the shelves. How lucky for the library that Pura has story seeds ready to plant and grow.
¡Qué suerte para... Oh, perdón. Pero, ¿dónde están las historias que le contaba su abuela? No encuentra ningún cuento popular de Puerto Rico en las estanterías. ¡Qué suerte para la biblioteca que Pura tenga semillas de historias para sembrar y cultivar!
In the children's room, she lights the story hour candle and begins. Her eyes dance, her voice sings. Pura's words paint a picture of a little house with a round balcony where Martina, a beautiful Spanish cockroach, meets Perez, a handsome and gallant mouse. El ratoncito, is that right? Perez y la cucaracha, Martina, a tale from the tamarind tree. She dropped off, but she'll be back.
Oh, you did awesome. En la sala de lectura para niños, ella enciende la vela de la hora del cuento y comienza. Sus ojos bailan, su voz cantan. Las palabras de Pura dibujan un cuadro de una casita con un balcón redondo, donde Martina, una linda cucarachita española, conoce a Pérez, un apuesto y galante ratón. El ratoncito Pérez y la cucarachita Martina, un cuento del árbol de tamarindo.
I took Spanish in high school, so I can do a little bit. When Pura's story is done, each child makes a wish on the candle, and with a wisp of air, whoosh, la vela is blown out. Now Pura has a wish too, to plant her story seeds throughout the land. Pura learns to make puppets. She snips and sews their clothes, paints their delicate faces.
Cuando Pura termina la historia, cada niño pide un deseo frente a la vela y con un soplo de aire, ¡fiup!, se apaga la vela. Y ahora Pura también tiene un deseo, plantar las semillas de sus historias por todo el país. Entonces aprende a hacer marionetas, les hace ropa y pinta sus delicados rostros.
Families come to hear folk tales in English and Espanol to watch Pura's puppets dance across the stage of her stories.
Familias enteras vienen a escuchar cuentos populares en inglés y en español y a ver las marionetas de Pura bailar en el escenario de sus historias.
But the library needs libros for its shelves. How can more children read Perez y Martina and other cuentos de Puerto Rico? Pura puts her story in an envelope and mails it to Frederick Warren, a publisher.
Pero las estanterías de la biblioteca necesitan libros. ¿Cómo hacer para que mis niños y niñas lean Pérez y Martina y otros cuentos de Puerto Rico? Entonces, Pura envía su historia por correo a la editorial Frederick Warren.
Soon, Perez and Martina is a book. Now a published author, puppeteer, and storyteller, Pura travels from branch to branch, classroom to churches and community centers, planting her story seeds in the hearts and minds of children new to this island who wish to remember la lengua y los carles culeres of home. Did I do that? Did I do it well?
Pronto, Pérez y Martina se convierte en un libro, ahora como autora publicada, marionetista y cuentacuentos. Pura va de biblioteca en biblioteca, de aula en aula, a iglesias y a centros comunitarios, sembrando las semillas de sus historias en los corazones y en las mentes de los niños recién llegados a esta nueva isla y que añoran la lengua y los colores de su tierra.
Writing, learning, speaking, teaching, traveling, Pura does not slow down until, like the beautiful Martina, she meets Perez.
Escribe, aprende, da conferencias, enseña, viaja, Pura nunca para, hasta que, como la linda Martina, conoce a su Pérez.
On a December day in New York, Pura marries the musician Clarence Cameron Wyatt. On annual away from the library, she decides 1 year to start a new life as a wife. But a year stretches on. Together, they travel to new cities. Clarence plays his music. Pura tells her stories.
Un día de diciembre en Nueva York, Pura se casa con el músico Clarence Cameron Wyatt. Un año lejos de la biblioteca, ella decide. Un año para comenzar una nueva vida como esposa. Pero el año se alarga. Juntos viajan a nuevas ciudades. Clarence toca su música. Pura cuenta sus historias.
So I have some other comments coming in here. Miss Jackson says she loves it. Miss Collier, my librarian, says, oh boy, can you imagine me reading this and pronouncing some of these words? You're doing great. And Vanessa
you can do it.
said the illustrations are amazing. And she said something in Spanish. Es una bellísimo historia paralela en familia.
Great story to read with the family.
Oh, good. And then Miss Jackson said magnifico, and other people are watching, so that's good. All right, here we go. I'm just going to be ready to speak Spanish in a bit. There are happy years of music and writing, separations and reunions, friends, family, and stories always. Until on a June day in New York, Clarence stopped playing his music and Pura's story must begin again.
Son años felices de música y de letras, separaciones y reencuentros, amigos, familias e historias siempre. Hasta que un día de junio en Nueva York, Clarence deja de tocar su música y la historia de Pura comienza otra vez.
It is 1961. Pura returns to the library. There are others now. Storytellers who make puppets dance, who read Perez and Martina, The Tiger and the Rabbit, Juan Bobo, The Three Magi, and many more Pura story to the children.
Es el año 1961. Pura regresa a la biblioteca. Ahora hay otros narradores de cuentos que hacen bailar a las marionetas, que les leen a los niños Pérez y Martina, El Tigre y el Conejo, Juan Bobo, Los Tres Reyes Magos y otros cuentos de Pura.
And Anika's having a hard time. Let me get her back in here. The seeds she planted, the roots that grew shoots into the open air possibility have become a lush landscape into which she steps as though she has never left.
Las semillas que Pura plantó, las raíces que retoñaron en el aire abierto de la posibilidad, se han convertido en un exuberante paisaje en el que ella se adentra como si nunca se hubiera ido.
Hello, Tracy. And Ms. Collier said, Humosa historian, beautiful story. And that's the end. So your book, Anika, tell us what inspired you to write your book and tell us about the Spanish version. Oh, I think she's frozen.
So, well, I'm sorry. I've had so many frozen. Oh, no.
No, you're fine now. You're frozen, but we can hear you. Maybe not. Oh no, she
Tonight. I'm
froze.
sorry.
Gross.
Oh no, we can hear you.
Okay, well, I'm frozen, but I don't know if it's three dogs.
Oh, she left.
Oh.
She'll be back. She'll try and come back. But I wanted to talk about the book. But while we're waiting for her to come back, we're going to talk about Cami and Wyatt. And Stacy's here. So
Mhm.
Stacy, about a year ago, we did this book. So we had Cami and Wyatt have too much sweets. So now we're going to do Cami and Wyatt have too much screen time,
Yeah.
written by Stacy and illustrated by Rebecca Sinclair. So tell us a little bit about this book.
So it's kind of funny because so my kids series, my children's series is about my kids, Cami and Wyatt. And I'm a teacher and a mom, so I always try to think of ideas that other kids can relate to and that my kids have done. And then I kind of write about them in a funny way, you know. So the first book, The Too Many Sweets, was about my daughter sneaking treats. And then I don't know if you've read this one or not, Dr. George, but The Too Much Stuff. I don't know if you've
We did.
Okay, so this is about my daughter's messy room and how she can't find anything. And then I've got the Too Much Screen Time. So it takes about a year for one of these hardcover books to be published. So last summer, before all of the virus stuff, I'm sitting there thinking about my next idea. And I thought, what do my kids struggle with that other kids can relate to? And I thought, I bet some other families struggle with healthy screen time habits. So I wrote the book and then, ironically enough, published it last June when everybody was doing distance learning. So,
and it's very needed right now. So thank you, Jermaine Eddish. They love your onesie. Hi, Miss Flowers, Miss Rito, Miss Ann, and Miss Carlos. Hello. So Cami and Wyatt, here we go. It was a beautiful day at the Kangaroo house. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. Cami and Wyatt were in their bedrooms using their new tablets. Like everybody got. Some people got new. Some people use old phones. Some people are using Chromebooks that got them from BISD. Wyatt was just about to beat the first level of his racing game when his friend Landon came in. Hi, Wyatt. Want to play outside, Landon asked. Wyatt didn't answer. Wyatt, Landon said again. What? Wyatt muttered, not looking up. Want to go outside and play. Landon suggested with excitement. We could pretend to be ninjas and build a fort. Maybe after this level, Wyatt mumbled. I'm almost done. Now, I can, and Miss Guillory probably can attest to this. I bet if it was schoolwork, we wouldn't have had this type of hesitation. A while later, Mommy yelled up the stairs, the ice cream truck is here. Be down in a minute. Cami shouted back, my show's almost over. Soon after Daddy hopped into Wyatt's room. Do you want to go fishing with me, Wyatt? We could try to catch that big fish we've been after. Yeah, I love fishing, just as soon as I beat this level. Okay, Daddy said, but I'm leaving in 10 minutes. So 10 minutes, that's a long time. Well, if you're on a game.
Yeah.
When her episode ended, Cami's tummy rumbled. She stretched, rubbed her eyes, and yawned. Time for some ice cream, she thought. But then the next episode began. Uh-oh. It's like me with Netflix.
I know, it's bad.
Yes. Later that afternoon, Mommy called upstairs again. I'm going to bake cookies. Whoever helps gets to lick the bowl. Be down soon, Cami and Wyatt shouted from their bedrooms. While watching the next episode, Cami heard her friends playing outside. That sounds fun. That sounds like fun, she thought. I should go play. And there's Mom, and there's Dad and Wyatt, and there's Cami and Wyatt on the screen. Uh-oh. Daddy, I'm ready to go fishing, Wyatt said. I'm already done, Daddy said. Luckily, Landon was outside and helped me. We caught the biggest fish yet. Oh, I wanted to go, Wyatt whined. Mommy, I was going to help you bake cookies, Cami complained after spotting fresh cookies cooling on the counter. Why didn't you wait for me? I waited for a while, but I wanted to get them done before dinner, Mommy replied. Oh, goodness, I would have been sad about those cookies. When the family sat down to eat, Cami asked, "Can we use the chargers for our tablets?" Mommy was about to respond when suddenly the lights flickered. Sounds like Beaumont. Boom! A flash of lightning lit up the room and the power went out. Oh no. That happened to one of my teachers today.
Oh.
Mommy, Wyatt whimpered. Daddy, it's just a little storm. Mommy said, it probably won't last long. But now there's nothing to do, Cami complained. We can't watch TV and our tablets aren't charged. Storms are fun, Daddy explained. Now that the power's out, we can play flashlight hide and seek. Okay, Cami sighed unhappily. Oh, let me change that because she wasn't happy. Okay. Cami sighed unhappily.
She's thinking that sounds lame.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. After dinner, the Kangaroo family played hide and seek in the dark, lit some candles for a board game tournament, and had flashlight story time. We still managed to have fun. Daddy said, Daddy and I noticed that you spent a lot of time using your tablets today, Mommy said afterward. I guess I've been watching my show too much, Cami admitted, but I like playing my racing game, Wyatt protested. I know you like your tablets, Mommy said. Do you think all that screen time is causing you to make good or bad choices? I did miss the ice cream truck and baking cookies because I was too busy watching that show, Cami sighed. I didn't get to go fishing with Daddy or play with Landon, Wyatt added sadly. I have a headache, Cami groaned. Me too, Wyatt said, rubbing his eyes, and I'm tired. I can't believe the whole day went by and I didn't get to play outside with my friends, Cami said. We missed out on so many fun things today. It's okay to use your tablets once in a while, Daddy said, but using them too much is a problem. Mommy and I can help you with that. Mommy agreed. Let's make a list of things you could do instead of screen time. Cami suggested drawing, riding her bike, and writing in her journal. Wyatt's ideas included fishing, kicking his soccer ball around, and building with blocks. They both added playing with their friends. When the storm ended and the power came back on, the little kangaroos groaned in disappointment. They had been having so much fun. Watch this, Daddy said, winking. Cami and Wyatt cheered. Let's play another game of hide and seek, Wyatt cried. Wait, where's Mommy? They found her in the pantry checking her phone. I'm sorry, Mommy said as she turned her phone off. Ready or not, here I come. So it's not just the kids.
No, adults have trouble too with some things.
And there's the author and the illustrator. And then it has turned the page for free ideas from parents and kids. And there's a lot of suggestions. So I have Anika texting me. Let's see if I can go. And let's see if because she has such a great message about her book. But what inspired you to write this book, Stacy?
Well, just the fact that I feel like just the fact that a lot of people, I think, struggle with screen time, me included. I mean, I can get on my phone and all of a sudden an hour's gone by and I didn't even realize it, or Netflix, which just keeps starting episode after episode. And being a teacher, there have been a lot of kids in my class who, they just get too much screen time and they're tired the next day. And so I thought, I want a book about this, but I don't want it to be like preachy or boring or just like a lecture. I want it to be fun. So yeah, that's why I wrote it kind of like that, with the power going out and just with the fun ideas in it.
I think I muted myself. Okay. Okay, I'm unmuted now. I have Anika on the phone, so she'll start talking in a bit. I made it work. So this is something that's going on right now because kids are spending so much time doing schoolwork, and then they get off schoolwork, and what do they want to do still on their tablet?
Yeah.
And so I noticed something in there, the headaches, and they felt tired.
Mm-hmm.
From what? What was that from, Stacy?
Myself. I stare at my computer a lot, and my kids have complained about that too, and the students in my class. But just the eyes, get tired after a while from looking at the screen, and then if you're squinting, your head could hurt. And then you get up and you're like, oh my gosh, it's been 2 hours and I haven't stood up out of this chair. And so just to encourage kids and families to get outside or read or go on a nature walk or do something fun together off the screen.
Love that. So I have Anika with her story, and there she is. She's going to join us one way or the other. So can hear her a little bit. That's okay. We can hear you. Let me move you to the side. There we go. So tell us what inspired you to write your book.
Oh, so, well, I am Puerto Kenya, so like I share, heritage with Pura Belpre. But also when I was a little girl, my Titi Rosie, my auntie, shared Pura Belpre stories with me. Although, later in life, I knew that she was the Belpre award is named after her, but I didn't put that together. It's like these stories that I heard growing up, folktales, Puerto Rican folktales, Teresi Martina, Bobo, all these lovely stories that were always around. I didn't connect them, And then I'm an author, and standing in the New York Public Library, the main branch, and there's this incredible exhibit of her puppets and her books and photographs and quotes, and it was one of those moments where, as an adult, it just kind of all came together for me. Seeing her puppets in the library edition of the book of Teresi Martina that I took out in the library, just kind of one of those moments where I just went, oh my goodness, yes, I remember these stories, and yes, that's the author, and yes, that's the award that's named after her. And for whatever reason, I hadn't really kind of connected them. I think children understanding that who their authors are that read their books is a more modern thing. When I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, I loved my stories, but I didn't really connect them to a specific name. They were just these stories that lived and that I loved. And so then, cut to me as an adult and an author, I just all of a sudden said, wow, she's been a part of my life. Pura Belpre has been a part of my life and my storytelling, and has informed me as an author, and I didn't even realize it. So then I wanted to know more. I wanted to know every detail of her life. So I went and I researched it, and then I knew that I had to write a book about her so that other Latinx or anyone would just know this incredible story about this woman who came here in the 1920s and really transformed libraries for the Spanish-speaking community in New York and beyond. So
Absolutely.
that was inspiration, right?
Yes, I love it. So I always like to do this because I love when authors share their books. So we always do a takeaway. So if we're each going to do one, a takeaway from Planting Stories. Miss Guillory, what is your takeaway from this book?
My takeaway from it, I just love, like she said, actually attaching it to a real person. Just seeing the transformation from then, when there were no, Spanish books or books having to do with the Hispanic culture. And now we're starting to find them a little bit more. So I'm grateful for that.
And I saw Stacy dropped off, so she'll probably be back. My takeaway from this book is I love how there was a love story in the book in there as well. And in spite of her being busy, she found time for herself. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, is that she found time for herself in there and managed to share her love like so many educators do. We have our families and we have our work, but we managed to spread all that love all around. So I have Stacy back. Stacy, you want to give your takeaway from this book?
Well, as a teacher, I just think it's important to have stories like this that are about real people that are also engaging, so that kids are interested in hearing about them and they can learn something new.
All righty. And so our book, Cami, Kangaroo, and Wyatt too. Takeaways. So Gloria.
Yes, so relevant to today. Very relevant. But yes, just finding ways and finding alternatives to still doing things together and having fun and trying to get away from the screen time a little bit. So.
Love that. Did you get a chance to hear it, Anika? You want to give a
I only heard the last little bit,
okay?
but what I heard about screen time, I totally related to because someone commented how about that kids were after they've been on screens all day or they've been in school all day, then they're going off and being on more screens, and we're trying. For me, the takeaway is that that's something that I'm dealing with right now for real in my life with my daughter who's 9 years old, and like with distance learning and everything, screens have been so important for her to stay connected, but also like how do I balance that? So I'm gonna go and read the book and get it now because I only heard a snippet of it, but I want to know more, and it's something very relevant to my life.
Yes, and for me, the takeaway for me from this book is that sometimes we get too busy for life, the things that matter to others, and we focus on the things that matter to us the most. And they missed out on so much, but luckily they had people to grab them back and engage them more. So love that. So your takeaway, Stacy, from your own book.
Oh, jeez. Gosh, I don't know. Pretty much the same thing as what you guys said. I try to, this sounds really bad, but I try to purposely schedule time away from my screen during the day. So after I've been on the computer for a half hour, I'll, close it, get up, walk around, take a walk around the neighborhood or whatever. If my kids are around, then we'll play together. But it's almost like you have to schedule it because otherwise the hours go by and you've been on your screen. So it just needs to be intentional.
Yes. And Anika, your takeaway from your own book.
My takeaway is that it's really relevant for right now. If you've seen the recent statistics that have come out about how diverse books and Latinx books make up about, 7% of all books published in children's literature.
Yeah.
Like Pura Belpre was doing then what we are still doing now. It's like about diverse book access. And it's clear that we are making progress, but there's work to be done, and she knew it then, and we need to continue with that legacy now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Love that. Now, her book can be found on Amazon. Yours as well, Stacy?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Amazon.com, you can buy both books in Spanish and English, The Planning Stories. And Planning Stories is an AR book, and I'll put that in there. So we'll get ready to log off now. It's now 8:03. And guys, just remember Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. And we want to focus on different cultures. And I thank you, Gloria, for joining me and reading the book in Spanish and listening to you read it. Beautifully done. She got the book at 6:00 this afternoon.
Wow.
And so she did a great job. So she said, thank you. And Mike corrected me. It's 9:03 Eastern time. So I always like to end by saying, if no one else tells you Dr. George loves you, Gloria, you want to leave them with anything?
Just continue reading. That's how you're going to be able to, especially now that we're basically quarantined, this is how you're going to learn about the different world and travel to different places.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Stacy.
I would say, kids, that nothing is too difficult for you to do. I knew nothing about writing books or publishing books or finding an illustrator or starting a website and getting on Amazon. And maybe Anika, too, you're in the same boat, but I knew nothing about it. And I taught myself everything through a lot of hard work and persistence. So if I can do that, you can realize your dreams too. Don't give up.
Love that. Anika?
Oh, I would just say to everyone, my challenge is for you to read a book that you wouldn't normally pick up, whether it's like a different genre or about a different culture or a different religion. Like, I'm going to challenge you today to pick up a book that you would not normally gravitate towards and just and read, widely and try it out. And then if you want to talk about it, I'll come back on this show and we can talk about what you've read that's so different, how it changed you.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that, Anika. Well, thank you all for joining. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. We'll have another bilingual book, someone else reading it in Spanish, me reading it in English, and attempting the Spanish words. So thank you all. Have a good night. Love you guys. Make sure you log in for school tomorrow, wherever you are. Good night.